All right, everybody, how you doing? It's Mr. Gadget Guy again. So I've had this this little tool for quite some time. I'm a guy that holds a lot of congestion, especially this time of year, and I know I've got a couple of family members that have the same issue. My brother does, my mom does, pretty bad. So we're always hacking and coughing and snorting and doing all that stuff, and always looking for some kind of solution, to keep your nose cleaned out. So this little guy right here is called a Navage. And basically what you do is you have these two little, areas right here, and you stick them on your nose and they kind of suction to it. You fill, this part up with water. But before you do that, you have a couple options of what you can put in it. So just give me a second here. So this is called a salt pod, and I have a little water draining out of there. And basically what you're doing is you're taking it and you fit it. So this little blue thing right here is another type of pod you can put on it, and it says it's salt, and it is. It worked. I'm not sure how. It's just a little piece of plastic, but it did work several times actually. This will only work once. So basically, you're fitting it in there like that, and then when you press this down, nope, I am totally wrong. You gotta turn it upside down. Sorry. You turn it upside down, so the foil side's down, and then you close this, it breaks the foil, boom, and it releases the salt water into the rest of the water, which I always use warm water. So I'm going to fill this up real quick, and I'll be right back. All right, so excuse me, I put a little funnel on here, and it takes about a full cup of water. It's got a line marked on there to where you fill it up to. Then you put the pod in, shut the top, okay? Now, it's got directions to kind of keep it clean and all that kind of stuff, but I have rubbing alcohol, and I put it in a little spray bottle. And before I use it, I spray it. The other directions, I'm pretty sure it's like you clean it out every so often, but for me, I just want it to be sanitized every time. So I'll give those a couple minutes to dry, and then we'll run it, and I'll show you how it works. And phenomenally, it actually works really well. So when I first got it, I tried it, and I was like, this doesn't really do anything. I think it was the wrong time of year, because now that I'm using it, now that I'm super congested, I actually, as I was cleaning some stuff up, I found it again. And I was like, I should try to give that another try, because I'm so congested right now. And you'd be surprised the stuff that goes through. And basically what ends up happening is you put it up to your nose, you hold this button down, and it runs the water through your nose and comes through and goes into the other side, and it drains down in here, and you can see what comes out of your nose. So it actually works surprisingly well, and I'm surprised at the amount of gunk that I've gotten out of my nose on a couple of occasions. Not every single time, but there's always something that comes out. So for people that have, these kind of issues, keeping your nose clean and stuff like that, I mean, usually I'm stuffing a tissue, a rolled up tissue up my nose, letting it sit there for a while, twisting it around, and I'll pull it out, and you'll be surprised the amount of gunk that I'm able to pull out of there just doing that. But with this, it makes it so that has to happen way less, because I just don't feel like my nose is running all the time like I did before. So anyway, I hope you can see it. And here we go. Hold your mouth open. All right, I hold it on there for a minute, so whatever is in there, it's salt water. You could, as it washes back, you can kind of taste it a little bit. And then I have a tissue so that when I take it off, because it's going to start running, because there's stuff still, sitting in there. But whatever's in there, man, it's loosening it up. So this time, really not a surprisingly large amount of gunk, but I mean, you can see some stuff floating around in there, but actually, yeah, more than I thought. Sometimes it's just hard to see, but I mean, I've had way more than this on a few occasions. Now, sometimes I do it twice at a time, depending on how bad it is. Sometimes I'll do it a couple times a day. Sometimes I don't do it at all. Kind of just depends on how I feel. But, typically what the goal is to get a routine going where I can do it in the morning. Excuse me. When I'm typically kind of my worst. And then, any time throughout the day that I would need to. So you pull this out and you're done. You throw it out, you throw it away. Now, if you just put this back down and try it, like put water in it, it won't work. You have to have a pod to do it. Or one of these, which is what I ordered. And it just fits on there like that. And then you can fill it up with water. And this little blue thing will work just the same as the salt pod did. Again, don't ask me how, but I can tell you, because you get a little bit backed up in your mouth, and when you swallow it, you can taste the salt. And both times with this thing or with the pod, tasted salt easily. So, again, they work, and they work really well. So anybody that has congestion problems, like stuffy nose problems and stuff like that, I highly recommend getting one. I guess it would be compared to using a neti pot, but this thing is way better than a neti pot. I mean, with a neti pot, you have to pour it in your nose and it goes in, and you got to be over the sink and all that kind of stuff. With this, you can actually see what you get out. It seems to get out a lot more because you got the suction. I think it helps kind of pull it through, and it's not nearly as messy. So anyway, that's all I got. I just wanted to show you the Navage, how it worked, and I'm telling you, it actually works really well for people that have these kind of problems. So keeping your nose clean is a big deal. So prepare it for next time, and I guess we'll see you.